The shelves are brimming with mouth-watering delights. Buns, rolls, croissants. Could this be a bakery selling Taiwanese snacks? As Lei Xiao-zhen picks up a brush and gently brushing away each delicacy, we discover that these are her creations of handicrafted artworks. Transformed from strands of wool, the art form is commonly known as needle felting craft. This Taiwanese artisan creates wool felt artworks of food with amazing realistic detail. Upon closer inspection, there are zippers and clasps, turning them out to be portable pouches. With a few clumps of wool and a few felting needles, the allure of the art stems from its simple tools and materials. This craft fascinates many girls. So what exactly is its charm? Thousands of years ago, people began to use wool as handicraft materials. Its remarkable elasticity, tender fibers, and its ability to be dyed with vibrant colors are all reasons why wool is favored by artists. Making wool felted crafts requires simple tools: a pair of scissors, a foam pad, and a specialized felting needle. These needles are covered with nearly invisible notches cut along the shaft. When the needles continuously pierce into the wool, they cause the fibers to intertwine. With quick, repetitive motions, one can sculpt a variety of shapes and forms.
做手工艺的话，从小就很喜欢啦，一直不断的想要找到可能更适合的雕塑的材料。羊毛毡呢，让我就是一下就觉得哇，它兼具了实用性跟艺术性，包括就是平面画作、立体雕塑、包包、衣服、袜子，什么都可以做。
Maximizing the full potential of needle felting wool, Miss Lei's creations range from adorable animals to characters in various styles of dolls. Her most masterful work, however, lies in crafting incredibly lifelike culinary delights. They're so realistic that one might even unintentionally take a bite. Bread is her favorite type of work to make, from crispy croissant to soft toast. Behold the tasty sesame and flaky crust, baked into a golden and glossy finish. This piece is called clay oven roll and fried breadstick. The themes presented by these crafts mostly originate from northern China. Despite this, the locals here have come to embrace these foods simply as Taiwanese. To mimic the appearance, Miss Lei observes details of an actual clay oven roll and fried breadstick, and refining her work.
像我爷爷他们以前就是做早餐店的，所以像那个炸那个油条啊，然后包包子啊，所以我那时候做这些或者是吃到这些的时候，好像你本能的很喜欢这些食物。
Miss Lei grew up in a military dependence village. They were originally built to serve as provisional housing for the immigrated families of soldiers. This included her grandfather and father. In the village, households were closely clustered together. They shared similar values and lifestyles of the region in China where they came from. This characteristic is typical of those raised in military-dependent villages. In 1949, after losing the Civil War to the Chinese Communist Party, Chiang Kai-shek led the Republic of China Armed Force, and the Kuomintang Party retreated to Taiwan. Roughly 1.5 million military and their family uprooted their lives in China to resettle on this island. It was the largest migration in modern Taiwanese history. Miss Lei is one of those resettled families. Growing up in these surroundings had a huge impact on Miss Lei's career decisions.
我爸也是军职，他是军官嘛，然后他就觉得就女孩子啊去军校啊，然后后面就有一个那个稳定的工作，不是很好嘛，所以其实 原因也很简单啦。
Even during her military service, she didn't give up on her passion for handicrafts when she was young. Since the conditions required for needle felting craft are simple, she allowed herself to continue creating in her spare time at work. She also has a fondness for creating historical figures. This character comes from the classic Chinese novel Water Margin. He is named Lu Zhishen. He's a monk with a hot temper and immense strength. Similar to the legendary Robin Hood in the West, he is a rebel hero fighting against a corrupt system. The scene in this statue depicts him uprooting a tree. In fact, he did this to deter and intimidate local bandits. Appearing impulsive, he exhibits a decisive and straightforward style, and is somewhat similar to Miss Lei's own personality. For over a decade in the military, needle felting started out as just a hobby. But her lively craftsmanship gradually earned admiration from her comrades. When some even offered to purchase her work, she became more confident in her craft. Continuously studying and improving, she sharpened her skills. Finally, she decided to embark on a new journey in life.
就会觉得我好像没有办法再多待在军中，多一天那种感觉，因为你满脑子想的都会觉得，我好像想要用羊毛毡来构筑我觉得后半部的人生。
After leaving the military, Miss Lei started her own business. She sought inspiration from her childhood memories. She decorated a toy car with a playful new shell made of felted wool. Here, the child happily drives the car. In her memory, the trunk in the back was filled with various Taiwanese bread.
4点钟的面包车，一台红色面包车，然后慢慢的开进眷村，然后我们大手牵小手去买面包的那种情怀吧，围绕着那个场景慢慢发展出来，就拉到我小时候的回忆。
She recreates all the delicious bread from her childhood with needle felted wool. She says that the launching point for her creativity started with a comfort food she has always cherished. These works showcase Taiwan's most beloved bread varieties. The most popular is the pineapple bun. It's also the piece that established Miss Lei as a master of wool felting. In order to make a wool felted bread, it's important to choose suitable colors to represent the bread. Then she repeatedly loosens and mixes the wool fibers to create different shades. To create the effect of real bread, it's necessary to create a round core, just like a base dough. In doing so, it will help shape the form of the wool bread more easily. By felting the wool flat with different colors, it simulates the flaky outer layer of the bread. Then she uses an iron to flatten it. When darker colored wool is used, it has the effect of scorched marks. To speed up the process, she also collaborates with factories to develop this electric felting needle. With faster producing speed, now she's able to create both straight and curvy lines. For inspiration, Miss Lei buys pieces of real food. She observes the details in their form and color, so she can make her work more realistic. One of the key techniques in mimicking real food is to layer the wool fibers in sheets. Here she has replicated the crispy crust of the pineapple bun and the flaky texture of the clay oven roll. Other special techniques include using scissors to cut the edges of the bread, simulating the cracks of the crispy crust, or using the barbs of the felting needle to pull up the outer layer, creating a fluffy outlook of the dough. These works are a testament to Ms. Lei's unparalleled skills. With an iron, she scorches the surface to achieve a deeper brown tone, and she smooths out any roughness of the outer layer. And behold, a masterpiece is finally complete.
像婆婆这边下深，这边下浅，一下凹陷面，一下破掉面，它不是几何，颜色不是单一，观察力是很重要的关键。
In the 1980s, pineapple bread became quite popular, so many people had nostalgic memories of eating it as a child. Even though it has its origins from other countries, many local foodies claim it to be distinctly Taiwanese, as it has its own taste and texture. Transforming comfort food into art, Ms. Lei evokes childhood nostalgia in all of us. Perhaps a folk wisdom is passed on here. Through food, we can learn our own history. Taiwan is an amalgam of cultures. The Taiwanese essence is a blend of food brought by the Chinese from the mainland. It's also a blend of flavors and ingredients from the island aboriginals, from colonial Japan, and from Western sources. All these together shows us that the Taiwanese are a resourceful and adaptive people.